So this is going to be my, my second Halloween tutorial. And today I will be teaching you how to create the Masquerade mask that you just saw in the intro. We're going to start out with foundation. I'm using my Tarte Hybrid Gel Foundation in the color Light Neutral. And I'm just dotting this all over my face and then buffing it out with a foundation brush. I really wanted the face to be flawless because, I don't know, this is just the Halloween look, so I thought it would be nice to have super flawless skin. So I didn't mix any oils like I normally would with this foundation. I just used it as is and buffed it all over. Then I'm going in with the Colourpop Sculpting Stix in Easy Peasy, and I am sculpting out my cheekbones, my forehead, my chin, and I'm going in very heavily with this contour stick because, again, I wanted the face to be very flawless and do a little bit more than I would on a daily basis. So I'm also sculpting out my nose with the same sculpting sticks. And then I'm using the same brush that I used to buff out the foundation to buff out the contour. Now to conceal and highlight the face, I'm using the NYX HD Concealer. I would have showed you the packaging, but all of the words rubbed off because I use it every day. But I'm just bringing that under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, onto my forehead, my chin, my cupid's bow, and underneath the contour to clean that up a bit. And then I'm using a small Morphe stippling brush to blend that out. And of course, with skin this flawless, I had to stop and take a selfie. Now I'm taking my RCMA No Color Powder and I'm spraying a sponge with some Fix Plus, and I had a lot of fun doing that for some reason. But I'm going to bake my face with the RCMA powder. I'm cleaning up under the contour, getting my forehead, under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, around the lips, any areas that I think might crease throughout the day. And then I'm going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Plus. I'm using a large stippling brush from Morphe to buff this all over the face, and I'm also going to wipe away that baking with this powder. The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish gives the skin the most gorgeous finish. It's not completely matte, so it makes the skin look super flawless. Now I'm taking Morphe's M501 and my Hoola bronzer from Benefit, and I'm going to bring this right into the hollows of the cheeks, and I'm using a smaller brush so that I can really get a precise contour. Then I'm taking what I believe is the Morphe R10 brush with the same bronzer just to buff out that contour a bit so there's no harsh lines. And then I'm also going to bring the bronzer onto the chin, the forehead, around the nose, all those lovely contoured areas. Now while the Hoola bronzer is great, it is completely matte, so I wanted to go in with my Tarte Amazonian Clay bronzer in Park Ave Princess and just bring this pretty much around the perimeter of the face to give a little bit more of a glow. And here I'm just singing to my brush because that's what I do. I'm taking my Kiko blush. This is from a limited edition collection, so it probably isn't around. I don't know what I'm doing there. It probably isn't around anymore, so I apologize. But I'm bringing this onto my cheeks with the M500. Now I'm taking the Wet n Wild Gold Bar Highlighter with my Morphe M510 brush and bringing this onto the highs of my cheekbones, my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. Now to start off the eyes, I'm taking my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly on a flat eyeshadow brush and buffing this in, and I'm going to buff it in even more with my fingers. Now I'm taking, oh my god, I love this palette. It's from Studio Makeup. It's the On The Go eyeshadow palette, and I got it in this month's BoxyCharm. I'm buffing that light cream shade all over the lid to set the primer, And then I'm taking Morphe's R37 with those two light brown shades, and I'm going to use both of those as my transition shade. The second palette I'm going to go into is my Morphe 350M. This is all matte shadows. And using a small blending brush, I'm going to take two of the lighter, cooler toned browns in the palette, and I'm going to bring that into the crease a little bit lower than the color we used in the beginning. And don't mind that shadow, that was just my boyfriend. He had just gotten home from work. So I'm just blending that really well into the crease, and then I'm going to use a larger blending brush to blend out any harsh lines. I guess I really like the word blend, huh? Now I'm taking a pencil brush with one of the darker browns in the palette, and I'm bringing this onto the lash line and then up into the outer V, and I'm creating a very sharp line because I had the shape of the Masquerade mask in mind as I was creating this eye look. And once you have a shape you like, you can go back in with one of the blending brushes. I'm using the smaller one here to blend out the harsh lines. And then I'm picking up that matte black shadow from the Studio Makeup palette on a very small, precise brush so that I can create kind of a smoky wing towards the lash line. For the lid, we're going to go into the 350S palette from Morphe and take those two gold shades. I mixed those on a small eyeshadow brush and brought those right onto the lid. Oh my god, these shadows are insane. They're so beautiful and buttery and pigmented. I'm just a bit obsessed. Now with that precise eyeshadow brush, again, I'm going to bring that dark brown shade onto the lower lash line. I only brought it about maybe a third to a half of the way in, and then I blended it out with the lighter cool toned browns on the small blending brush. And I'm just using the Wet n Wild Gold Bar highlighter to highlight the inner corners and the brow bone. And you know we gotta spray with that MAC Fix Plus if we want that flawless finish. I literally had to like mentally prepare myself for this tutorial. I was so nervous. But I'm taking the NYX HD Concealer on a very small definer brush, and what I'm doing is I'm pretty much tracing out the mask portion of the costume. I didn't want to go right in with the eyeliner or any of the other materials before I actually got the outline done, you know, because I can always blend out the concealer, but once I started putting a liner on, that is when it would get too crazy if I made a mistake. The outer portion of the mask mapped out and went and traced out the eye holes, I guess you can call them, and I kind of went with like the cat eye look. I know there are different masks that you could have, you know, drawn inspiration from, but I really liked the one that came to the sharp point on the outer corner. So once you are happy with the shape of your mask, you can go in with whatever black pencil eyeliner you have laying around and trace right along that concealer line. This line does not have to be perfect. Obviously, if you want it to be, go right ahead, but it can be jagged. It doesn't have to be this beautiful straight line because we are going to go in with shadow over it to blend it out a bit. Now, what I really wanted to do to make this mask look more lifelike and like it wasn't actually attached to my face was create a shadow beneath it. So I'm taking one of the cool toned browns from that 350M palette from Morphe, and I'm just buffing this with a small, almost like a pencil brush, right along that pencil liner. And this is going to create a little bit of a shadow effect And you could do this in a bunch of different ways. If you know about lights and shadows, you can definitely customize it, you know, so maybe you have the light coming from the right and you only have shadows on that side of the face. There's different things you can do with that. I just wanted it to look like the light was right on me and it was casting a shadow underneath the mask. And to make sure the look is cohesive, don't forget to create a shadow underneath the top portion of the eye holes. I don't know what to call those. I'm just taking a little bit of a larger blending brush and blending out that shadow so it's not so harsh. Now here comes the fun but ridiculously time-consuming portion of the costume. I'm taking my Duo eyelash glue on a flat shadow brush. I'm applying this directly onto the skin where I want to apply the gold leafing. I definitely made sure to work in small areas at a time, so I didn't do the whole mask in the glue at one time. I worked on different portions at a time. So what I'm doing is I'm just laying one sheet of gold leafing, it's actually like half a sheet of gold leafing, right on top of the glue that I just put down. And I'm just using a brush to pat that into the glue so it really sticks. And then I'm going to start peeling away any areas that haven't been stuck down. Pretty much the way the gold leafing works is that it'll stick to any sticky areas, and then any other area, it will just come right off. But I did have a little bit of difficulty right around the brows. I don't know if it was the glue or the actual leafing, but it really did not want to stick to the hairs. So I did have to go over that portion a few times with the gold leafing. But that's okay, you can just put lash glue right on top of the gold leafing and on any areas that didn't get any leafing stuck, and apply it again. So I didn't really love how the gold leafing wasn't giving me a really sharp edge. So what I did was I just took a little bit of the lash glue and ran it right along that black line that I made with the liner. And then I put a little bit of that hard candy glitter right on top. So I was hoping this would give the effect of a straighter line and fill in some of the gaps. I definitely didn't love the result, but it worked, I guess. I wish I could get a really sharp line just with the gold leafing. So here you can see that I did switch over to a smaller blending brush. This just gave me a little bit more precision with dusting away some of the gold leafing. Sorry. So I would definitely recommend a smaller brush. The large one is good for patting the gold leafing into the glue, but I like the smaller one for brushing away the gold leafing that doesn't stick. P.S. Don't forget to add me on Snapchat. My username is ChelseaDae. I'm always posting little behind the scenes, tutorials, hauls, a little bit of everything. So now I'm taking these jewels from Michaels. They came in a set and I thought they were perfect for the look. Luckily I didn't have to really put in any effort here. I'm just sticking them right to my face in the center of the mask just to add a little bit of detail and a little bit of glam. And what I'm doing here is taking that precise eyeshadow brush again with the same colored shadow that I used earlier, and I'm bringing that in any areas that I think the jewels would naturally create a shadow. So going along with the same idea from the mask, I'm bringing shadows into the jewels as well. And now I'm taking a sheet of the same kind of iridescent jewels, but these ones are just circle shaped. And I'm going to line the mask with these jewels. I thought this would be nice to give it more of a 3D look, so it looked like it was actually raised off of my face. Obviously you can see I was having a little bit of trouble laying the jewels down, but I was just taking a little bit of lash glue on the back of the jewel and laying it down on my face. I did end up realizing that it'd be much easier if I first put lash glue on my face and then put the jewel on the lash glue. So definitely, if you're going to recreate this, do it that way and not the way that I started off, because that was way more time consuming. I'm just coating my lashes with some black mascara. This is the Benefit Roller Lash. It's my favorite. So as you can see, the little jewels on my forehead had kind of flopped. So I just put a little bit of lash glue on the back and laid it in the exact same spot. Sorry, that was my phone. I just laid it in the exact same spot that it had fallen off of. And I'm just taking a little bit more of the cool toned brown shadow and doing a little bit of shading around the jewels. And then I'm just going to put on my favorite lashes. These are the Eyelure Definition, I believe. They're in the orange package. And now for the fun part. I'm taking these packs of flowers that I got from Michael's. I got some gold and some kind of aqua turquoise, but as you can see, I had some trouble with this part. They weren't really sticking and laying down right, so you just have to play with them. I did use lash glue again to lay these down. I decided to stick all of the gold flowers down and then a couple of the aqua ones on top, just as a little color detail. And a little trick was to flatten out that kind of rose flower. It definitely helped with keeping it stuck to the face. And finally, for my lips, I am applying Colourpop's Ultra Matte Lip in the color Beeper. And here is the finished look. I really hope you guys like it, and stay tuned for some more Halloween looks in the next couple days. I'm loving doing these Halloween tutorials.